Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah Bergquist. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the instructor of this course, Agricultural Leadership and Community Education. I'm so happy that you're here and truly look forward to getting to know you and our community in this course this spring. I wanted to make a short video that just tries to bring some of this writing that you'll see in the syllabus to life. I will try my very best to make it short. And if you have any questions, please feel welcome to reach out to me. Email is the very best way to get me. And you'll see my email listed here and on our course website, which will be on Canvas. So I know Canvas is new to many of us. I'm still getting the hang of it myself, but so far so good. And if you have any issues, there are support resources available from the university, and I can also try to help you as best I can. So you can find all of this information on Canvas. So I have this queued up here, our course Canvas page. Most of the important information you'll need will be housed under modules. So all instructors tend to format these pages a little bit differently. My tendency is to just house everything in week by week folders under modules. So that should be the very first place that you check always, and you'll see some of the important course documents and a little preview of week 1 and 2 here when you go to Canvas. So just a little overview. So this table of contents should help you. And I want to just note that you might see on some documents, Stockbridge School 297AL is the former numeration of this class. It is indeed the same, but either I'll forget or you'll see something from a piece of material from a previous year. And so this is the course number. And so in case you see 297AL, it's just because the number changed recently. So thank you for your understanding. So some of these links will get you to where you need to navigate in this document. I promise not my style. My style is not to read this at you, but just want to highlight some important things. So the field of agriculture, sustainable agriculture and food systems is continuing to emerge, evolve, and grow. And you do not need to be or want to be a teacher for this class to be useful. My hope is that whether you see yourself training folks on your own farm or your homestead, working with a nonprofit or a farm or an organization that hosts workshops. Maybe you have a CSA or want to have a CSA someday, and you're going to have workshops be a part of that offering for your community. Or you want to work in a formal education role, maybe as a school garden educator. There's so many opportunities, and we'll look at those. This is a buffet. This is an offering where we'll explore all the different ways that education, facilitation, leadership, and organization skills make their way into the field of sustainable ag and food systems. So we'll focus on building community, and my hope is that these skills will be transferable across whatever little niche you find yourself in the sustainable ag and food systems world. So I take my learning objectives seriously, as you'll learn. A lot of what we do will I sort of think of these as the North Star. So a lot of what we do will be stemming from these objectives, and we'll do a lot more than what I can articulate in these objectives. So the course is really broken into 5 main sections. So you'll earn your points through these things. I use a 200-point grading scheme. And I try to include rubrics wherever possible. So the discussion board, Canvas discussions or online discussions are likely not new to you. They happen almost every week in this class, and you can earn up to 5 points. So you'll get 3 points for your post and 2 points for your reply. The due dates generally, unless noted otherwise, because sometimes holidays and the academic calendar will mess that up, is that your posts are due on Sunday by the end of the night, and your replies to two classmates are due on Tuesday. So that's typically the flow, and that was adjusted with student feedback. So I take student feedback seriously every time I teach this course. It's a little different because I integrate feedback and learn every time how to make it better. So this is my 8th or 9th time teaching this course, or 8th or 9th year, and every time I'm integrating feedback. So those due dates tend to work better for folks studying online. And that is the end of the day in your time zone. So you'll see this rubric here. And the second part of our of our course grade will be the micro teaching. So that's a big piece of our class. You'll see it bears a lot of points, but really don't be too intimidated. It's broken down into a lot of different chunks. So through the Canvas discussions, you'll engage with a lot of the different course media. I use a mix of readings, podcasts, and we have different videos that we watch. I do lecturettes like this one. I say lecturette because I like not to speak too long because I think our attention spans can't really sit for longer. So I try to break things up into smaller chunks. So you'll see that. And then those will be happening concurrently. The discussions will be happening concurrently throughout the whole semester. The micro teaching will fall about the mid-semester point. And you will be making a 10 to 12 minute video. If you're freaking out and you're like, I can't do this, I promise you it's not that bad. The last 8 cohorts of students in this class, both on campus and online, have found this a really rich and meaningful experience. This is a good time to acknowledge that we're coming with a lot of mixed experience in this class. Maybe you have some education experience, maybe you don't. Maybe we have mixed level of interest. Maybe we're just curious about education. This is an assignment that's oddly unifying. It brings us together, gives us a shared experience of having an initial idea of a lesson that we would like to teach or lead, the process of creating and designing it, the struggle and the frustration of trying to get it to be short and concise, and then a peer review process where we can give each other feedback and how we would make it even better and do some self-reflection on if I were to adapt this lesson for another audience or do it again, how would I make it even better? So this has been really generative. I've been doing it for many years, and every time I do it, I get something out of it. So my hope is that it'll be meaningful and useful to you, and that this skill of creating learning objectives and designing is really a creative process that's useful whether or not you want to be a formal educator or not. And my hope is it'll be portfolio worthy, something you can either replicate in your own context, whatever that may be, or something you can draw inspiration from in the future. I'll provide you more of these details when we get toward the mid-semester point, but just wanted to alert you that that's a big part of this class and serves as a tangible experience for us to reflect on. There's also 2 short quizzes. They are open book. It's just an opportunity for you to do a deeper dive with the course materials and really get into some of the nitty-gritty, some of the details, some of the juicy aspects of the class that might not come up in each of the discussions. This is also a chance for you to comb those materials more thoroughly. Again, I try to curate materials that are based on your interests. The next item, number 4, is self and course evaluation. So I do care a lot about who you are and what your interests are. So the very first thing we do is a pre-semester evaluation or some survey where I get your initial interests and I try to build the course content and select and curate my giant library of resources based on your interests, both individually and who we are as a group collectively. So I do value that time that you take to reflect. There'll be a mid-semester self-evaluation, again, a Google form, and an end-of-semester evaluation, and then also a course evaluation on your experience of the course and how it met its intended objectives. It's a really important aspect of how we evaluate workshops on farms and also just growing our awareness and how we evaluate our own learning. And finally, the final project and reflection includes a case study, portfolio, and written reflection, and I'll talk more about that as the semester advances, but there's some basic information here that really just gives you a chance to reflect in writing and also in looking at living examples of organizations and farms that are doing the work that we've been looking at and assemble some of the work that you've done. So everything we do here, I don't like busy work. I really want it to be useful to you. So the final assignment attempts to do a mix of reflection and creating a portfolio for yourself. So there's no required textbook for this class, and we draw on a mix of media. As I've said, everything's available on Canvas. Are you still with me? I hope so. It's a lot to take in syllabus week. So what to expect? Again, this is a co-creative process. I'm here, very present with you throughout, even though we don't get to meet live. I very much read closely your reflections and try to bring in resources that are different every time I teach it, that are customized for you. So therefore, the semester schedule of assignments, I'll never spring anything on you, but I will and am always customizing my assignments, my readings. Maybe I'll say, hey, that video is actually a little bit better for this group, so I'm going to include that because the field of education is so broad and leadership. So depending on your interests, I'll be adding to those assignments. And so you can find a loose schedule of our flow on Canvas. And the course technologies, I promise I don't get kickbacks from Google, but I do use Google Docs and Google Suite a lot. As you'll see, the syllabus is in Google Docs. I find them to be really useful. The Google series, the Google Suite series, and that means Google Slides, Google Sheets, Jamboard, occasionally things like that, to be really useful and user-friendly for collaboration and also very prominent in the professional industry. So all the work I do with Amherst Public Schools and their school gardens, we use Google Drive all the time. All the work I do at the university, I use Google Drive with my TAs, and work that I do in collaboration with different community organizations, I'm always on Google. So it's also good practice. I have a series of statements here that I promise are not totally fluff. I encourage you and hope that you will take the time to read them closely. I always am refining these, and they're there because they're meaningful. I care about your well-being. I put some links and resources here. Please reach out to me before anything becomes a big issue. I'm here, and I just want you to know I'm a resource. I'm also an academic advisor here at UMass and provide leadership for the Sustainable Food and Farming program for our campus students. And so while I might not have the answers, my hope is I can be a resource and connect you to other resources that might be useful. I put a sample of some of the readings that I draw inspiration from. This list grows and changes and evolves all the time, but that's just here for your reference. And a little bio for you to learn a little more about me. I've been at UMass for a long time, and I teach a series of other courses, and I hope to get to know you in one of those. So please reach out if you have any questions. Take some time to review this syllabus. I didn't read it word for word at you, so there's still more to be read. And then on the course Canvas page. And if you have questions, I'm here. I so look forward to getting to know you and getting to work with you and our community this semester. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.